Hey TikTok, in 2022 I'm going to be talking about the critical differences between developing artists and emerging artists. So here's what I need from you. What questions do you have about creating emerging moments and further developing your musical career? Let's chat. Have you ever thought about how somebody else's 5-year plan is going to affect your 5-year plan? It's one of the most important things that you can think about when strategizing your networking. So let's say you're a new artist and your 5-year plan is to sign a record deal, sign with a manager, and sign with a booking agent, and then go tour the world, right? Well, the people who are going to do those jobs, they don't have those jobs yet. They probably are interns, assistants. They probably work in data collection. They might work at Starbucks. And they need awesome new artists to work with to grow into those roles. They need those connections as bad as you need those connections. And so stop looking up to the top and start looking around at who's around you and who's like really trying to make it in 5 years too. And when those 5-year plans align, that's when magic happens. So think about that in your networking for 2022. Here's 3 tips for introducing your song in a more engaging way. Number 1, please stop saying this song's about. Instead, tell a story and then say, so I wrote a song about it. Number 2, set the mood. Connect it to something in pop culture. This could be an episode of a TV show. It could be a scene in a movie. But take the song and put it in people's brains with something that they already know and love. Number 3, connect it to their experiences. Think of a common story that most people have and say, hey, have you ever experienced X, Y, Z? If so, this song's for you. It takes it out of your perspective and puts it into their perspective. If you can put the work in to create engagement with the song before it ever even starts, it's going to go a long, long way. I know these examples seem really simple, but they're a heck of a lot better than this song's about, which we always revert to. So make the commitment to do the work and try and engage from second one. Trying to go viral is really like a paradox. The harder you try, the less likely it is that it's going to happen. And so as a songwriter, you want that moment where the song and the video take off and you get put into a major breakthrough moment with a huge audience. But you can't get there by trying to go viral. You have to get there by being engaging. And I know we like to believe that all of our songs are engaging, especially our good songs and our singles. But the thing is that a song is engaging after you know it and after you like it. And so in the platforms the way they are now, you really need to dissect your song and think about what's the most engaging part of it and find a way to highlight that in your content on a consistent basis. If you find that you have a theme in your songs consistently, then that needs to be your top engagement point. And if you can create more engagement, then you might have a chance at virality. Trying to go viral is absolutely the thing that's going to prevent you from going viral. That's the paradox of the whole thing. But the other thing that happens is that in the pursuit of consistency, we get a little bit lazy and we tend to take a video that we posted to one platform and download it and post it to the other platform. What I've seen is when I do that from TikTok and I post it to Instagram Reels, the reach that I have on Reels is about half as much as it would be if it was posted organically. So the incremental reach that you get by posting organically is super important because that data that's going into the algorithm is the thing that can eventually take a video into a viral place. So being aware of how the platforms are interacting individually is important, and posting organically as much as possible is also really important. Here's 3 tips to create more engagement. Wait till the end. That's tip number 1. If you can create a cliffhanger, then that's going to keep people around a little bit longer. So introduce an idea and promise a finish. Tip number 2 is to create a duality, this versus that. That makes the audience have to decide where they align or to investigate whether or not it's a duality to begin with. And number 3 is to ask more questions. Early on, I used to really not encourage artists to ask their audience questions if they didn't think that they were going to get meaningful answers. But with the way algorithms work on content, you can't start this process without just going out there and putting out the questions. So I'm doing that now. I'm open to questions. What do you guys want to know about artist development? Here's 3 tips for staying motivated and posting regularly and building your digital audience. Number 1 is to have some alternative goals, meaning things that you can accomplish other than building an audience. And so for me, that was to book more public speaking opportunities. And since posting regularly, I've doubled the amount of podcasts that I've been guest spotted on. And a big part of that is confidence and also having content that supports that I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. Number 2 is to create a competition with your inspiration. So look at somebody that you really like that's doing socials the way that you want to be doing them and try to post once more a week than they do or once more a day than they do, and just see if you can beat them in the number of posts. And then number 3 is to stop checking your insights daily and start checking them weekly. You do need to be paying attention as to whether or not your videos are working, but you don't need to check that every day. And that's just a bad habit. So check once a week and take down notes and then make changes in the following week. Good luck. Here's 3 tips songwriters can use to increase the amount of content they make around one song. Tip number 1 is to show us the process. Tip number 2 is to show us your inspiration. And tip number 3 is to show us the various versions of the song. So when you're showing us the process, tell us why you wrote the lyrics or why you changed the lyric from one thing to another. Show us how you write a melody. Show us how you write a chord progression. You don't have to do this while you're actually writing the song, but just go back and make multiple content pieces around one song showing us that process. Same thing with the inspiration. Tell us if there was a story that inspired it, if there was a movie or a photograph, and that could be the inspiration for the lyrics and the music. And then show us the various versions. Show us the work tape, show us the demo, show us the instrumental, show us the vocal by itself, right? These are the different versions of the song. Now, ideally, if all of these content pieces can close out with the actual recording, so if the video takes off, the song gets some popularity. Good luck. Here's 3 tips to better strategize your professional relationships in 2022. Tip number 1 is to make a list of all the job titles that you're missing in your professional Rolodex, and then go and research the people that do those jobs, especially if they do those jobs locally. Tip number 2 is to look at the people who are connected with them on Instagram or on LinkedIn and see if you know any of those people. If so, ask them for an intro. They might not be able to make it, but if they can, they usually will. And that way it's a warm connection, not a cold connection. Tip number 3 is to do outreach to at least one person a day, cold outreach that can be an email or a DM. And you're not pitching a project, you're just reaching out saying, hey, I'd love to connect for a coffee or a call. That way when 2023 rolls around, you've got a list of all these people that you've connected with. And if you build a relationship with them, you never have to pitch them on projects. They'll be asking you what's coming up and what's going on. And then that way they can get involved a little bit more organically. Good luck. Have you ever thought about how much time you're wasting editing content that at the end result isn't any different than the first video or piece of content that you made? Let's stop tweaking everything and fixing everything and start to just set the goal of the content piece. What is the thought that you're trying to get across? And then once you get that thought across, make sure that you move on and post it. And as you do that more regularly, you'll start to nail it quicker on the first and second go. Your editing of the content and posting to the platforms will get quicker and everything will get better. So stop editing and wasting that time. Use that time for more posts, more content, more things, and move on. And my favorite quote for this is finish is better than perfect. And this is the second take of this video, and I'm not doing a third. Have you ever thought about why anyone should take the time to listen to your music or connect with you as an artist? I mean, gotten really critical and made a list of all the reasons why somebody should take that extra step to connect. And I want to take a guess that you've been lied to and told that those reasons are supposed to be all the things that make you unique and all the things that make you special as an artist. But let's be honest, if you were exceptionally unique and exceptionally special as an artist, those connections would probably already be happening. It would be exuding out of you. And the truth is that the real reason why anybody is going to take the time probably isn't going to be the things that make you special, but actually the things that make you exactly the same. Because the ways that you're the same as everybody else are the reasons why you're relatable. And that's what people are going to connect with. Here's 3 tips that any artist
They don't care.
What?
They want a manager to do it all.
Yeah, I know they want a manager to help them with stuff, but like they're going to have to do some of it on their own. So I'm just trying to give some tips to like.
Yeah,
help
they're
them
not
out.
even paying attention, man.
I'm pretty sure they're paying attention. My last video got like 75 views. So
Nope, they're not going to do it. They don't care,
why
dude.
don't we ask them? What are you guys working on? What do you need tips on? You want tips on streaming or booking or PR? Or let me know how I can help, and we'll get you going.